Blasting Zone from Squall did over 9,000 damage to Raph. KT7 up here. Today, I will review and showcase 140 Squall, the 100 cost unit from the FF8 collaboration. He is in the lightning element, with SeeD as his main job and Trick Lancer and Pugilist as sub-jobs. Squall is a physical bruiser with very good defense and high strike resistance. He brings a couple of new things to the game, the honeycomb barrier and the ability to lower enemies' type chain resistance. I will go over everything in his kit in this video. These are the items we will go over today. Let's get started. Let's start off with his TMR. This is one of the best TMR in the game. The stats are HP 267, Defense 13, and 10 crit rate. The ability is Griever's Wing. It is a cross-shape group buff. Grants the group 100% defense debuff resistance for 3 turns, and haste for the user. An AoE buff that has haste will make your life so much easier with initial movement control. And it is an accessory, you can put this on your DPS units, so they no longer have to run straight up after haste. Moving over to his stats. His HP is at tank level, higher than King Mont. His based attack is just short of top 10. Also his dex is about the highest for a non-missile unit. Agility is average, but still can get him to around 110. However, he is stuck with the base 3 move and 1 jump. He cannot inflict any status ailments and does not rely heavily on healing, so 50 faith is enough. Now his weapon type resistances, 20 to slash and strike, 10 to missile and 50 to magic. Ailment resistances are 50 to blind, 10 to berserk, and 50 to stun. He can equip sword, cloth, and hats. Yes, he can equip gunblade replica as well. Next, his mastery ability. On top of the typical lightning element buffs, he also gets reaction block rate 20 and AoE resistance of 10. At level 140, he gets AP consumption down 20, lightning attack up 15, and his swing blade attack will lower the target's slash resistance by 38 before damage. Next up, his weapon, the Lion Heart. The sword looks amazing. The general ability is slash attack up 15. For Squall only, he also gets initial AP 10, crit rate 15, and defense up 15 for 1 turn whenever he performs a critical hit. In my opinion, the crit type is the best. I would suggest get enough recipes for an assault type as well. Besides Lionheart, the Ragnarok model kit is also very important for Squall. The general abilities are slash resistance and strike resistance 10. The limited abilities for Squall are physical damage up 20% and reduce incoming physical damage from range 3 to 5. The damage is reduced by 10% per panel. The Ragnarok can be farmed from the Trials of Reckoning, so we can get multiple +5s. For Squall, the shield type is the best with 18 defense. The crit type only has 10 crit, it is not worth it. Next, his main job support ability. He only has 1 from SeeD. It gives him 40 slash penetration, defense 12, and AoE resistance 15. Put this on him 100% of the time. The reaction ability from his main job is Auto Guard. 70% chance to proc, lower slash and strike damage by 40%. Next, let's go over his LB. It is a single target attack, up to 4 panels away. For consecutive hits, damage large, grants Squall AP regen medium for 3 turns. This is a very good LB, great for chaining, and gives him AP regen. Now his buffing abilities. First, his cross-shape group buff, it has the highest AI priority. Increase the group slash attack by 25 and defense 20. It also gives Squall 20 AP and grants him protect for 3 turns. He will run around to buff everyone before moving forward, be mindful of that. His second priority buff is Honeycomb Barrier. Increases his slash and strike resistance by 25. Also reduce all incoming damage from range 4 to 7 away. Damage is also reduced by 10% per panel. It stacks with the Ragnarok model kit. This ability can help him against missile unit or help him survive on the solo spot on the map. This buff has significant impact on your enemy's AI movement. They will move closer to Squall when they attack him to deal more damage. Now let's go over his attacks. The first one is Swing Blade. It is a diamond-shaped AoE up to 5 panels away. First lower targets as slash resistance by 38%, then deals damage medium. Also lower targets defense penetration by 30 and healing power down 50 for 3 turns. Next up, Renzokuken. Single target, up to 3 panels away. Lower targets type chain resistance for 3 turns, then deals 2 hits medium damage. This is the first attack in the game that can lower type chain resistance. Very useful on a slashing team. His next attack, Energy Wheel. This is his low AP attack. Deals small damage, recover 10 AP on crit hits, and recover another 15 AP if the target is KO'd. Great low AP finishing move. Now his level 25 attack, Blasting Zone. It is a straight line AoE up to 4 panels away. Prior to damage, increases Squall's defense penetration by 50, Dispel Protect, then deals damage large and sure hit. This is his highest damage output ability. This can deal very good damage, but the range is a bit limiting. That's all for his main kit. Let's move over to the sub part. The first ability is Rough Divide. Single target attack, up to 3 panels away. First move to target's panel, deals damage medium, and increase own CT small. The other attack is Faded Circle. It is a typeless lightning attack. A squared-shaped AoE that deals medium damage. Both of these attacks are good, but I think giving him another damage type is better. Now let's go over his sub-jobs. First, Trick Lancer. He gets Trick Lancer lore, crit rate up 25 and defense penetration 40. This is the one I have on him all the time. The other support ability is Unwavering Javeliner, accuracy 25 and nullify stun. Reaction ability from Trick Lancer is Counter Trick, 30% chance to counter with piercing damage. The range is very short, his main job reaction is the best. The two notable abilities are AP Break Lance and Barrier Break Lance. Trick Lancer is my go-to sub-job for him. All of the newer units are weak to pierce type damage. Although, all the attacks have shorter range, but they do surprisingly high damage. Next his other sub-job, Pugilist. He has Flurry Enhancement, giving him 20 accuracy and increase the proc chance of Flurry counter. The other support ability is Warrior's Spirit. Max HP 12% and attack up 24%. These two abilities are just meh. Flurry counter only has one range, don't use it. The two notable abilities are Breathing Technique and Spirit Breaker. Pugilist could be useful to chain with Alaya and Alphonse. But I still like Trick Lancer more in the current meta with all the soul running around. That's all for his kit. Next up is Vision Card. It is a 70 cost card, supports all lightning units. The stats are HP 347, Attack 144, Dex 28, and 3 Defense. The party abilities are Strike Resistance 20, Attack up 25%, and Single Target Resistance 20. The bestowed abilities are Attack up 10% and Acquired AP up 30%. This is the first and only Lightning Single Target Resistance VC for JP. It was a must-pull for me. Strike Resistance and Single Target Resistance are too good to pass up. However, in Global, there is the Esther card. It also has 20 single target resistance, and a super good slash penetration of 35. This will increase Squall's damage, and a superior card in my opinion. The strike resistance is very good, but strike damage is matchup dependent. Slash penetration is not. If you already have the Esther card, the Squall card is definitely optional. Moving on to equipment and Espers. For his weapon, the Lionheart is a great choice, but the Coral Sword +6 will deal more damage. However, he will lose out on the 10 initial AP, 5 crit rate, and defense increase upon crit hits. The 10 initial AP is the biggest loss, but if you have his group buff turned on, it would not matter much. In the second slot, the Ragnarok model kit is the best option because of the physical damage up and unconditional physical honeycomb effect. But you will lose out on the 15 single target resistance from Survival Vest. In his TMR slot, give him haste. A TMR sword could work, but but be aware of his agility. He could be a bit slow without an agility TMR or haste. Now his trust stones. I like the vital set the most, it scales well with his high HP. HP up and luck up are must, the rest are meta dependent. On the right side, I am giving him agility. Abilities are attack up and lightning attack up, slash penetration and defense penetration. Acquired AP up and reaction block rate up. If you are using the coral sword, you can take out the lightning attack up for crit damage, or even pierce or strike damage. Next, sample teams. This is the team I am running in JP with Alphonse and Alaya. I will go over a global team in the next slide. Squall is on Trick Lancer sub. Main job support ability and Trick Lancer lore. Auto guard as his reaction. These are the vision cards. On Squall, he has his VC for 20 single target resistance, 20 strike resistance and 25% attack up for the group. Guyon as his sub for slash attack up 13, accuracy up 8 and 20% HP for the group. It is here mainly for the 10 slash penetration from the bestowed. On Alphonse, he has the Salier vs Rach's card for 15% agility, acquired AP up 25% and 20 water resistance for the party. Also 5% HP and 10 AoE resistance from the bestowed. The Ramza card for 8% more agility for the group. On Alaya, she has Odin's Chosen for 20 AoE resistance, 18 lightning attack up, and 20 crit evade for the party. Attack up 10% and accuracy up 15 from bestowed. The Scorpion Sentinel as her sub for 25% more attack, 7 crit rate and 10 slash resistance. The free FMA card is a better offensive option. In this setup, Squall has 50 defense penetration at all times. And it will be at 100 when he uses Blasting Zone. His slash penetration is at 60 at all times and has no way to increase it actively. His strike resistance is at 65. Of course, this is not the setup I would recommend in Global. Now this is what I would run in GL. Squall has the Esther card for 35 slash penetration, 20 single target resistance, and 13% max HP. Dark Ifrit is on Squall as a sub for 13 defense penetration, 13 slash attack up and 5 pierce resistance. Also 3 more AoE resistance and 5% more attack. Alphonse's VCs stay the same. On Alaya, I switched up the Scorpion Sentinel for the free FMA card. It supports all 3 units, and gives 15 crit rate, 10 crit damage, and 25% more attack to the group. This is a more offensive setup. Squall's strike resistance gone down to 45 but gained 25 more slash penetration. This is the better team compared to the JP1, and Squall will do more damage. I don't think we will get the same Esther card, it most likely will be a weapon type card when it arrives. This next team here is the Hyper Offense Lightning team. It can deal a lot of damage. The key to this team is haste and power. I am not running any defensive vision cards here, and everyone has a haste TMR. I would only recommend this team if all 3 units are highly reincarnated. Next are a couple more mono lightning setups. On the left is the anti-strike team with Resnick and Vega. In this setup, both Squall and Vega has 65 strike resistance without any active buff. Vega has a group buff that increased strike resistance by 20, that will put them at 85. And Squall's Honeycomb Barrier has a 25 strike resistance buff. If you put Blossoms in the Dark as a sub-card, they can reach over 90 strike resistance. The team on the right is the Lightning Magic team. On Global, the Wish Upon a Demon card also has 20 AoE resistance for lightning units. This gives a lot more flexibility compared to the JP side. Summer Helena has it on her main, Dark Ramu as a sub for 25% magic up and 10 spirit penetration. On Charlotte, she has the Agility VC as main and Europa as her sub for 18 magic attack for % agility and 13 crit damage. You can put in any magic attacker on the 3rd slot, or you can run 2 magic attacker and Squall together. I will say it again, having magic damage on your team is very helpful in the current meta. Next up is the Sword Knight team with Bradley and Celis. I used this team to counter Monofire with Soul, it did pretty good. However, I do not recommend relying heavily on this team due to lack of an AoE resistance vision card. The VC setup are the free FMA card on Squall as main. The inherited will as his sub for 34 reaction block rate, 14 strike attack, and 20% more HP. And 5% more attack and 3 AoE resistance from bestowed. It also has 1 agility from the stat. On Bradley, he has the Melnia VC for 24 single target resistance, 32 reaction block rate, and 15% agility. Also giving Bradley another 10% attack and acquired AP up 30% from bestowed. On Celis, she has the love for Hayu for 30 physical man-eater, 24 element chain resistance and accuracy 25 for the party. And she has the Black Rose card as sub for 8% more agility. This is not the best way to take down Soul, but with Bradley, there is a chance. Once you break his barrier, he is much easier to deal with. Next up are some spoilers. If you don't want to see it, you can skip ahead to the final thoughts section. I will give it a few seconds. Okay, I am back. So the first part of Chapter 3 from the Another Story features a new Astrius. If they don't change it up, he will be a physical, great sword-wielding lightning unit. Looks very cool. He will be a popular choice for lightning teams. Not sure if he will work well with Squall. He might bring lightning/base teams to the top of the meta. And Squall can lower type chain resistance, which in theory should work well. Or he might straight up replace his Squall and kick him off the team. But it is something to look forward to. I will definitely pull for him and do a video with the two of them together. Now my final thoughts on Squall. Squall is not a bad unit, he is just okay. He can lower type chain resistance, has multi-hits, can break barrier, and can lower opponents' defense penetration. With his honeycomb barrier, he is a true bruiser with pretty good damage. He is especially good against strike units, great for lightning mirror matchups. However, his kit feels outdated. He does not have courage or re-raise and he cannot remove them. His honeycomb barrier works best against missile units. Once he is close enough, the enemy's AI will move within 2 panels of him to attack if they can reach it, which can totally ignore the honeycomb effects. He needs the Ragnarok model kit for the 20% additional damage that locks him up equipment-wise. If you give him a TMR sword, he can have haste. Squall is a secondary DPS unit on your team at best. He will not be your offensive carry. The best place for him on a battlefield is on the side, and walk up alone if the map allows. PvE-wise, he is awesome. If you have Lightning Alaya but not Alphonse, or you love the character, pull for him. If not, I would suggest to wait and see what comes next. It could change his place in the meta. His vision card though, is a must pull if you don't have Espers VC. Now let's go to a few sample matches. The first match of the day is the all-purpose team going up against Mono Dark team with Irvine. Squall is on the off side of the map, so he would haste and run straight up. If you give him his own TMR for haste, he will run around and cast it on everyone before moving forward. Because it has defense up and defense debuff resistance besides haste. Irvine is the unit that I decided to skip. I will still do a short video for him next week. Squall's Honeycomb Barrier. For 3 turns, slash and strike resistance up 25, and reduce all damage coming from 4 to 7 panels away. The damage reduction stacks with the Ragnarok model kit item. Raph is now within 3 panels of Squall, so the honeycomb buff does not apply. And the Ragnarok only works against physical damage. Swing Blade from Squall, lower slash resistance by 38%, medium damage, and lower target's defense penetration 30, and healing power 50. Barrier Break Lance. Breaks physical barriers, and medium damage. Also lower Squall's AP consumption for 1 turn, because it is a crit hit on Raph. Alaya then comes in for the finish. Next we have a lightning mirror match. I am bringing my anti-strike team to go up against Alaya. How are you guys liking Alaya in global? Is she dominating the meta? She is really OP, really need to plan out your Espers and equipments to beat her. She should be easier to deal with, now that SummerGlaciela is in global. Squall haste and move forward. Charlotte's LB upgrades are pretty good, she could be useful to fight Soul. Squall's LB. A 4 consecutive hits, deals large damage. And AP regen medium for 3 turns. It is very good to get the AP regen early in a fight. Lightning is hitting Squall from long distance. He did not get a chance to cast his honeycomb barrier, but the Ragnarok effect is unconditional. The damage reduction here is 30%. This is his energy will attack, damage small. Recover 10 AP on crit hits, plus additional 15 AP if target is KO'd. Squall is taking strike damage like a champ. Energy wheel to finish Lightning. The total AP recovered is 25. Next are 2 fights with the Sword Knight team. Both are against Soul, one with Rain, the other with King Mont. I will show the one with Rain first. Squall is equipped with his own TMR. I want to show how he would run around to cast his TMR buff. Be mindful of your initial placement if you decided to use this. Soul plus Shalzi is really annoying, but they are not unbeatable. I will talk about Soul more in his 140 showcase. That's the second time Squall uses his TMR buff. Honeycomb Barrier is now online. Soul mainly does single target attacks, that is reason why I can get away without an AoE resistance VC. He is the only DPS on the team. Squall's range is a bit short, he can't reach anyone here. Bradley, however, just broke Soul's barrier. Now the barrier is broken, he is not as scary. Bradley is just a monster. Blasting Zone from Squall. Increase his own defense penetration by 50, Dispel Protect, then deals large damage. And it's a sure hit. There are some issue with Soul's AI, I will address it in his video. Next up is the same Sword Knight team against King Mont and Soul. I switched Squall's TMR to a self buff, so he wouldn't waste a turn. The team I am facing here is the most popular Soul team at the moment. Resistance to Berserk, Disable and Poison will help out greatly against this team. Disable on my Celis. Swing Blade from Squall, Soul survived with less than 10 HP. Soul is back to life and start attacking and healing. This is not good. Stun 2, why not? Well, this is as ugly as it gets. The last match of the day is against Mono Water with Gernsback. He is very good against strike damage. Looks to be another solid 70 cost unit. Hopefully I will get him soon. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.